before the tafunga begin, he says Mangwele ka oko. In a way, they're saying good luck with your journey. But what I hear is, are you ready for this? This black ink comes from the motherland, and when my day comes, they will reunite. But for now, it's a way to reconnect me to my people, like with me and my old man. Collectively, having experienced it all, we've started to rekindle. His blessing allows me to receive the bitter. Similar to the weaving of a basket, the tradition barely holds up our frail relationship. Breathe.
I think it's important to be valued for your existence and everything that you are. And if that isn't nurtured, then I think that's when we come into problems.
It's all about being proud of who you are. And, if that's done in the right way, there's nothing wrong with that. In fact, there's a lot to be gained, eh?
And I think those things like being able to do siva or ava or si'is and fe'als and things like that, they are not as, they're important parts of our culture, but not as important as just feeling like you belong.
In the day of our forefathers, the practice of tatau was life and death. And with the times, traditions have changed a little bit. But the art of tatau remains the same. Tools still sharp, ink still black. The medium of archiving stories via our skin, and the testing of character and embracing of pain, compared to the default of our human nature to avoid it. Breathe. My elder sister sits as we bear the same pain. Having received the malu in honor of our grandmother, she remembers the owl all the same. Part of me slips as I focus too much on the end, but quickly my mother reminds me of my reason to begin. Breathe.
I think all diaspora, those from the islands born outside of the island, have a different experience. We're all varied, like it's a huge long spectrum, and it's all valid.
It was really, really tough. And, you weren't necessarily wanted, Finding a flat was hard, finding a job was hard, finding anywhere you belonged was hard.
And I think the more we're open to each other's experiences and journeys of self-discovery and identification, like the better we'll be at building our culture, like what our rich culture looks like.
From small things, big things grow,
I think you start somewhere and it doesn't have to have an end location or place or time. It just, you start somewhere and you continue that journey.
As the owl seeps into my skin, the ink is suctioned deep into my layers of melanin, sitting atop my veins that bleed 685. Although this pain is immense, I tell myself, today's not the day I die. Breathe. The anticipation between each hit, that space is where your mind wanders. Thankfully, the teeth are somewhat consistent. Each tap comes with a rhythm you can time your breaths and calm your body with. But the stress, waiting for the owl to connect, haunts you. Breathe. Time slows as my patience thins. Stress fills my blood while my anxiety thickens. Patronizing compliments plague my mind as I continue struggling to find time to breathe. Ongasai also, ongasai, ongasai.
Quite a while ago, there was a scare about self-harm and suicide amongst young Polynesian men and women. Hopefully, with things like the pe'a, we can actually create an environment in which young people are wanted and feel like they belong, feel like they're valued, feel like they're an important part, which they are. They're our future.
And, these days, with pronouns and stuff like that, you see it happening globally, where people need to feel like their existence is important.
And, now you share this experience, which was probably one of the most incredible experiences of your life, with your father. So no longer is there that rejection either, eh?
It's bridged the gap, definitely.
Yeah, it's bridged that gap, yeah. Well, and that's what it was supposed to do.
When I talk to my daughter, who's also Dutch, I would say, you're 100% Samoan and you're 100% Dutch. There's a Samoan way that I've been taught. There's an old saying, it's not that old, but that my mum used to say, is like, to know where you're going, you need to know where you came from.
It's not about what your culture can do for you, it's about what you can do for your culture. And quite cheesy things like that.
And it's, one foot in front of the other. Don't run before you can walk. I don't know, now I'm just throwing out all the little sayings.
Malo kapuai, malo le angalelei, malo le ongasai, malo le kaliau. As a kid, I was raised with an identity that turned into insecurity. Eating the insides of my existence compared to clear plastics in the sea, I felt lost, even amongst my own people. The distance created was not undeserving, but it became an irregularity in which I continued to pursue, often burning bridges quicker than I could pass a ball, and alienating myself with the pain because it meant the possibility of pleasure. To this day, I'm afraid to discuss this stuff with my parents because I thought they were the ones who taught me self-sabotage is the same as self-love. I then searched for purpose in women who couldn't remember how to spell my name. And not until you're left with one friend who only see the scars mentioned do you realize, for love to be around you, you gotta first start within. And loving myself also meant loving my people, because everything great within me is made up of different parts of them. So I speak for those who want to love the parts of themselves that no one else ever has. Breathe. For me, my trial of the grasses had been complete. My body aches, shivering from the blood that rushes away. I step forward and see my father. A nod of approval is given. Dad says nothing, yet he has said so much. A motherly embrace to encapsulate all effort is acknowledged in this one moment. Mom, I love you. I express with my arms squeezing appreciation back into her. Off camera, I shed a tear with my sisters, one physical and one spiritual. I weep as if no one's around. An overwhelming surge of compassion makes me crumble. You did it. Myrna would be proud of you. O loo te mao sali matime mai nuu fale asi uma sale longa. O loo tina o tamasa I lau fui mauna time mai nuu muti a tele sa alani ma vau vai. O loo ingo o la mana kolota time tautua. Sa whanau au mai nea o te roa New Zealand. O au, o si atali o Samoa.